Back to BK Calls Games. Today I have a special guest here in my interview, my former boss and head coach of the men's basketball team for Ave Maria University, Coach Jamon Copeland. Coach, it's a pleasure to have you on here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, BK.
Yeah, so first off, let's start with just a brief 1 to 2 minute synopsis. You're introducing yourself. Who is Jamon Copeland?
Yeah, I think a family man, first and foremost, somebody that loves God, loves his faith, loves his family, and I love competing and athletics and fitness as well. So kind of those three big things: my faith, my family, and athletics.
Yeah, having core pillars really drives you as a person. I can tell. Just drives anyone having a few things that kind of guide there as a North Star type of thing. So now I know you're a humble man, but I'll kind of sing your team's praises for a little bit here. You're 20-2, 9-1, first in the conference, number 4 in the nation. So not only do you have a target on your back in terms of the conference, but like the whole NAIA is going to be gunning for you come March. How do you, as the leader of these young men, how do you keep yourself and them focused on the task at hand, one game at a time?
Yeah, great question. And we just try to focus, like you said, the one game at a time. And even more so than that, just, hey, we have to have a great practice today. We have to have a great film session. We have to have a great weight room session. And then if we stack enough of those, we feel like the results, the majority of the time, will go in our favor.
Absolutely, yeah. You kind of say you get what you deserve in basketball, whether it's a good or bad thing. So that's kind of something you like to harp on. And I feel like, let's throw back to like 2023, 2020, or I believe it was 2023. You had this great recruiting class, and it ended up setting up yourself for a championship run, for multiple conference or national tournament runs, and evidently it's setting up what's going on right now, and it will set up for the future. But it always wasn't this certain. Talk to me about the kind of uncertainty you had at the end of that 2022 season, and then how you were able to rebound in that 2023 season and recruit so well.
Yeah, so man, that 2022 season when we started off so well, we had those injuries and finished 500 that year, 14-14. Sean leaves to get married. Pat leaves to pursue professional boxing. We graduated a ton of seniors.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I was really nervous about what's that next class going to look like. With every class, we give it to the Lord, right?
Yes.
Pray about it, offer my masses, my rosaries. My wife and I, we said a novena, and then work as hard as you can at it. And then God leads the young men He wants here at Ave Maria to Ave Maria. And we obviously, Coach Matthews and I, we work really, really hard at it, traveling all over and talking to everybody in the country. But the Lord leads those young men, and man, He led us an incredible group of young men. That's kind of, we've always had a solid program. It's kind of projected our program into the upper echelon of the NAIA.
Yeah, absolutely, and probably one of the better classes, I'd say, transfer-wise in the program's history, definitely setting the table for what we're seeing today and the future generations. Let's boiling it down to that transfer class. You got a core 4 group, 2 transfers, 2 guys from the very beginning, Jonathan Effers, Michael Klekas, and then Jack Watkins and Jay White. That 4 has been around for 3 years as a core together. Obviously, it's their last year. How special has it been to coach those guys?
Yeah, man, it's been incredible. Just the relationship you have with them when you're with them so long is awesome, especially in today's college landscape. A lot of transferring, a lot of new guys every year, and we've had that same nucleus. And then really John and Mike have been with us for 4 years.
Yeah.
They were on that year when we had those injuries and had that tough year and finished 500. I think it was those 2 and Miles were the only 3 coming back that year. And then we moved Mitch up from the JV and kind of in Christian as well, and kind of that solid group. But man, they've been with us forever. Just the relationships and the time you spend with somebody is really rewarding, seeing them grow up.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's kind of been, like you say, I feel like we hardly ever have anyone transferring out. It just speaks to kind of the group and the core we have here and the core you've developed with all this, with your program, and the sense that the culture you've established the past 6 years of your second tenure. So,
yeah.
And going back to the, what was it? You get what you deserve. You have that kind of as one of your mottos. Another one, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be misquoting this, but you say to your players, if you come out of this program as just a better basketball player, I failed as a coach. And that's kind of that seems atypical for a lot of coaches, but kind of explain to me what exactly you mean by that.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to be judged, like obviously my primary vocation is my marriage and my family, and be judged on that. What type of man am I? What type of Christian? What type of husband? What type of father? But then also, like, man, I've been entrusted with all these young men, if it was transactional enough, was only about winning games, it's very shallow, and then I would have failed all those young men in the program. It's obviously, I think winning is very important because it teaches you to be competitive at something. It does make you a better man because you do have to die to self. You do have to develop great habits, choose to do hard things and do things when you don't want to do them, and just keep showing up through failures, through triumphs and setbacks. So I do think winning does impact them for the greater good, but also if it's only about basketball, like my goodness, we're failing, especially at a university like this, when we believe it's about so much more. It's about the soul and their faith. So I think that's why I love it here so much, and the job is such a unique and special job, is because we care about them spiritually first and foremost.
Yes.
We care about their academic development as well. And then also we're going to be really competitive. And I just think that, man, that's just you pursue greatness in all three, and you become the man God's, you're kind of fulfilling God's will in your life, just trying to become the man that he's envisioning you to become.
Absolutely. And that's kind of, I like how you kind of guide, again, you say, you're what's it called? You're a Catholic first, then you're a student, then you're a basketball player. So you kind of have those things in the right order, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
And then let's go back. You said you enjoy it here so much because of those aspects, the faith aspect, and how hard you guys work. But you started the program, and then you took some time off, and then you came back to the program when you realized that this wasn't for you. Do you think that time away was necessary, or do you think you wish you could have coached here, been the only coach here?
I think both. I think it'd be really cool if I would have been here the entire time.
Yeah.
That would have been unbelievable. However, leaving was awesome for me. Just the gratitude I have for this place. I think a lot of times when you don't know any different, you take things for granted, and maybe you're not as thankful or appreciative as you need to be. And I think being removed that time at UT Tyler was phenomenal, and we loved Tyler, and we loved the University of Texas at Tyler, and that year at Aledo High School was the same, but this place is different and it's special, and being away makes you realize how unique and how awesome it is.
Yes, and you really, as a man of faith, you always lead open and close in practice, everything, whether it's the practice, game, pregame, things like that, on the bus, we say grace, all that stuff. So how important is it as a man of faith to be, it's such a powerful man of faith to be the leader of men at a university that named Ave Maria after Our Lady?
Yeah, no, it's the greatest honor. In our gym, we're fortunate enough to have Our Lady of Victory, and there's a lot of times in practice I look up there and I just tear up. Man, I can't believe I get to work at this university. It's special, and it's incredible, and you get to be fully yourself. As a Christian, as a Catholic, you have to be fully yourself when you're at Ave Maria. You don't have to hide your faith. Maybe at a public school, when I was a head coach at UT Tyler, we did a lot of the same stuff, but in the back of your mind, you're always a little bit worried, am I going to get fired? Is somebody going to turn me in for it? But here you can just be truly yourself and authentic to who you are and what you really believe life is about. And the school supports you in that as well. And it's incredible when you have that alignment with the administration and the mission of the school, and everything is so Jesus-centered. It's awesome. And then obviously honoring our Blessed Lady as well is incredible.
Yeah, I always thought it was great because you're playing for something bigger than yourself. You're playing for, again, Our Lady, you're playing for our Lord and stuff like that. And I thought, if we had Our Lady's name on our chest, we should win every game. But, that's just me. That's just me. But,
I love Eric Kleekish used to always say, you remember Eric, he's always like, hey, we got our mom on our chest. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another big thing you say. You represent the name on your chest, Hail Mary, Ave Maria in Latin. So I think we'll get one more before we get you out of here. So it's a bit of an open-ended question, so I'll give you maybe a little bit of time to think about it. At the end of 2026, the 2026 season, Jamon Copeland and the Gyrenes will blank.
That's a great question. Fulfill our potential. That would be my answer. If we can tap out and fulfill our potential, whatever that may be, I think our guys have done their job. They've tapped out, and I've done my job. I've helped them tap out. So if that's a national championship, that'd be incredible. If that's a if that's a first round exit in the tournament, as long as we're tapping out, I'm going to be a satisfied man and coach.
Absolutely. That's a great answer. Thank you again, once again, Coach Jamon Copeland, coach for the Ave Maria men's basketball team. Thank you for your time, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, BK.